Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me. And today's presentation, we're looking at bearing and distance as promised. Let's look at the concept of bearing. Believe me, bearing is a very wide topic in mathematics. And for you to understand this topic, you have to have basic knowledge of geometry and trigonometric. Very important. With me here is just a brief concept to bearing and the golden fact about bearing and distance. I will still do another video on as far as the concept of bearing is concerned before we can now move into solving examples. Let's look at bearings are measured in degrees and are used to indicate the direction of one point from another point. That's what bearing is all about. Bearing and distance are often used in navigation, trigonometric, and mapping to determine locations and direction. So bearing is very important. It plays a very important point in real life situation. Uh, let's look at golden fact about bearing and distance. We have four here with us. In my next video, we'll look at the fifth, sixth, and the seventh one as far as bearing is concerned. Number one, there are two kinds of bearing. We have three-digit bearing, or we call it true bearing, or three-figure bearing. E.g., when you have 0.5 degree, you know that this is three-digit bearing because we have 0, 4, 5. This is three-digit bearing. And there's what we call compass bearing. Compass bearing, the example here is we have 45 degree northwest. 45 degree northwest. Okay? Golden fact number two, the bearing 70 degrees southwest means start from the south and turn 70 degrees towards the west. That this is now compass bearing. Okay? Uh, the number three part or the golden fact of bearing, when you are drawing or when you are interpreting bearing, you have to be realistic in the length of your lines. E.g., like what I have here, if length AB is 8 kilometers and length BC is 5 kilometers, it means this 8 kilometer in real life is longer than 5 kilometers. So it means if you have to draw a line, this 8 kilometer has to be longer than 5 kilometers. Very important. Point number four, or golden fact number four, you have to be conversant with your cardinal point and angles between them. That's golden fact about bearing. As I said, this is not the risk to bearing. In my next video, we'll look at more golden facts about bearing before we can dive into applying this bearing to solve problems. Thank you for watching. As I said, in my next video, we'll look at more concepts about this bearing and distance. Thank you for watching. Please share this to your learned colleagues and don't forget to subscribe to Teaching Smart and Further Maths Adventures. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you for watching.